Hey, welcome back. Today we are going to be in Psalms 63, verse 1. You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you in a dry and parched land where there is no water. So this was written by David while he was out running away from Saul, and he was in the desert, and there was no water. So that's what he wrote about, to talk to God, to call out to him. And I want this to be the cry of my heart, of your heart, that we would just thirst for God in this parched and dry land that we live in, that he might be the one that gives us water, that helps us to have nourishment and just the strength to move on. So as we read this, he starts off and he goes, you, God, are my God. Like, he makes it very clear. Like, he knows exactly who he's talking to. And he makes it personal. This isn't like here's my big prayer out to show everyone. Like, this is a one-on-one conversation between David and God that we just get to read on. And I think that's so cool. So he says, you, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. That's not just like I'll see what God thinks about this. No, like, he is desperate to hear from God. He is watching and waiting to see God move and hear what he has to say. And I hope that we do the same thing, because it says, then I thirst for you. He doesn't thirst for what God can give him. He thirsts for God himself. And that's a lesson that we all need to learn. We need to want the healer more than we want the healing. We need to, yes, gifts are great and God gives those to us, but he is really the true prize. And that's what David's saying here. He's like, I earnestly seek you. I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you. So everything about David is just crying out that he might experience God, not the things that God will give him, but just the presence of God. How often do we long just to be in the presence of God? Like, sometimes that's a thing, sometimes it's not. Like, what are we in this for? We need to really stop and evaluate and look at ourselves and be like, okay, am I praising God because of who he is, period? Or is it who he is plus more like what he can do for me? So it's just kind of a little self-check that we need to do. But David here, he says, I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you in a dry and parched land where there is no water. So there is nothing else that can sustain David where he is. Just like us, we can try and sustain ourselves with things of this world and maybe achieving things or doing things or getting accolades, but nothing is going to fill us up in this parched land like God and like his presence. So I pray that this gives you maybe a little charge today to do a check, see what you're in this for, and be honest with God. If you've been in it for the gifts, then repent and to ask God to forgive you and just to make your heart long for him more than anything that he could give you, because he is longing for you to do just that. So he's there, he's waiting with a giant smile on his face, arms open wide, ready to receive you and love you and give you so many things, but most of all, just to be with you.